All right. It has been a long time coming, but she finally gets to be on the Jason Walker Show after wrapping up her very successful career in a Bobcat vest. Tayla, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am living the dream, and I get to talk to a member of the Bobcat Rodeo team, especially on the women's side, which there's nothing better. I mean, the best team in the nation every year, in my eyes.
Oh, well, thank you. We tend to think that, but not everyone does, I guess.
That's right. Finishing second for a second year in a row. Has it sunk in yet?
It's been such a dream the past, actually all 4 years of college that I'm not sure any of it's sunk in yet. I told my mom and Belt at the pro rodeo that it's weird to think of myself as now a former Bobcat.
It is weird. I mean, you pour 4 long years, sometimes 5, into college and rodeo and practice and paying your own way to a lot of different events, and at the end of the day, it's all done and said with now.
Yeah, yeah. It was just weird to think about. I've been so lucky in college, and it's just surreal, honestly.
2022 national champ though, right?
2021.
21. Okay. What was that?
Yeah, it was my freshman year.
Oh, you set the bar so high and you couldn't repeat it?
We tried, but Tacey, she has a wicked horse, and she laid a run down this year. But and I have to say, Yeti matched that. He had 2 of the 3 fastest times of the whole week, and she just had a better run that day, and that's totally okay. I'm a sucker for great runs.
How close are you guys off the competitive circuit, or are you?
Yep. So, do you mean in the average?
No. How close are you and Tacey Matthews of West Alabama?
Oh,
Are you guys close outside of the rodeo circuit, or no?
yeah, we're actually pretty good friends. We kind of got to know each other last year at the CNFR, and then I saw her on the road, and then we've seen her this year, and so we're not around each other a whole lot, but I definitely consider her one of my great friends.
She's pretty good. But so are you. And when you go into this, what was your last run? What was going through your mind that last night in Casper?
I honestly was just taking it all in, knowing it was my last run in the vest and last run as a Bobcat. But at the same time, I was also remembering what my game plan had been from the beginning, and that was to just take it one run at a time. All I had control of that night was to go make my run and to make the best run that I could for that day. And how it ended is how it ended. And so I was just honestly enjoying the moment to its entirety.
How did you end up at Montana State?
So I actually live in Three Forks. I graduated from Three Forks High School. And it had always been a dream of mine to be a Bobcat, not only because of the amazing rodeo program and university, but another major factor was to run out onto the football field.
That is a great recruiting tool. It really is.
It is, yes.
Oh, that is fantastic. Give me some of your idols growing up.
Oh, I always try to look up to people, that have a good character and they take good care of their horses, and they're really good, quiet riders. Probably one of my biggest idols has always been Sherry Survey, just because of how calm she is when she rides. Her hands are always quiet. Her runs, no matter what horse she's on, always look the exact same. She could be on a young one or a finished one, but she's going to go in there and make the best run that she can on that horse. I also have to say my mom is one of my idols, just because of how she can get a horse to do what she wants it to do. And I've always strived to have that level of patience with them.
That is fantastic. I was going to try to show a video, but that audio is kind of loud. But yeah, growing up in Three Forks, and you grow up with a great rodeo right there in your backyard in Three Forks every summer. How many times did you go to that going, as a little girl, I'm going to be there one day?
I enter'd for many years, and so every year we'd enter that rodeo, and luckily my horse really liked that rodeo. Cruiser was who I ran in the juniors most of the time, and he won Three Forks quite a few times actually. And, Three Forks was always one of the really fun NRAs just because of the performances. The crowd is always really big. There's usually only standing room only. And so that one was always a really fun one to go to as I was growing up.
Tayla Moeykens joining us, the 2021 national champ, member of the Bobcat National Championship team, and finished second 2 years in a row. The reserve champion. And every time I hear reserve champ, I think this is like the Miss Rodeo Montana. If Tacy's not able to fulfill her duties, then you step in for some reason.
Oh.
That's what it sounds like.
It kind of does, yeah.
What was your major, Tayla?
Business marketing, and then I have a minor in entrepreneurship and small business.
Oh, very nice. So you're going to go be a big star with Shelby Rasmussen somewhere, running businesses together.
Yeah, I actually have two of my own small businesses right now, so we're starting early.
What are they?
One of them, it's called Foreign Performance Horses. We sell like flare strips and FlexiNeb, nebulizers, and Dynamite specialty products. Those are all products that we really believe in. And then for the horses. And then the other one, I do marketing services. It's called Cool Nerd Marketing. And I do like market research, website design, social media management, graphic design, all that kind of stuff for companies.
You'll have to send me your rates because, I'm a small business all by myself. I'm terrible with social media.
It is difficult sometimes.
Oh my goodness. So you're running your own businesses. You're successful in the rodeo arena. How's your summer going to plan out? What are we doing? PRCA? What are we working on this summer?
Yep. So my goal for this summer is to be top 35 in the world. And I'm actually sitting 35th right now. Just so that I can get into those big winter rodeos come January, February, March, and really get kick-started for next year.
And when you look at, obviously the NFR is your dream.
Yes, yeah. Absolutely.
What would you think it would be like to run in Vegas?
I don't think I can accurately imagine that because I know when I get there, it's going to totally amplify, compared to what I can even imagine.
You do barrels. What else?
I also breakaway rope.
Okay. Because that's become such a big event over the last few years too.
Yes.
Where do you stand there, or have you even started?
So this was actually my first year making it in both of my events to the CNFR. As far as the future with breakaway, I will breakaway as much as I can. Although trying to do two events in the WPRA can be really challenging, especially when you're going pretty hard. So I'll just fit it in when I can. I definitely think that roping is good for the horses in general. So it's definitely something that I'll hold up to.
All right. So, go ahead.
No, I just had a funny story about the CNFR. So with breakaway, I was up in the Sunday matinee on my first go, and I'm backed in the box and lately scored really well. We pinned the barrier, and I like get up on the calf. And my head tells me to take one more swing, and my arm is like halfway throwing. And so I kind of just lobbed it out there and missed my first calf just for the main fact of my head and my arm were not on the same wavelengths. And we were like having an argument with each other in the arena.
That is fantastic. Tayla Moeykens joining us, former Bobcat national champ. When you look at the barrel racing standings, you've got the names, Cassie Mowry, obviously Lisa Lockhart, who we claim is a Montanan still. Mm-hmm. Haley Kinsel, Donna K. Rule, Jessica Rutier, Stevie Hillman. The list is huge. And you've now got a chance to put your name alongside those like a Sissy Wynn or Emily Beisel. What's that mean to you?
Oh, it's honestly so hard to put into words because it's a dream that I've had for so long. But at the same time, I'm just going to stay with my same mentality of taking it one run at a time and only focusing on what I can control. Because, rodeo is very much a mental game, and you have to keep that you have to constantly work on that mental game. And so the more that I can keep myself level and just focusing on what I'm doing, the better.
Okay. That's well put. So are you going to be heading to Thermopolis this weekend?
Yes, I'm up Friday morning there, and then we're off. And then I have 2 rodeos in Utah on Saturday, and then I'm up in Reno on the 25th. And hopefully the 29th.
Yes, hopefully. I love when I talk to rodeo athletes. It's always hopefully the short go. I'm back for it.
You never know. So, it's just easier to go, well, we hope to be there.
Can you get from Reno to Augusta in a day?
No. So if I make the short go in Reno, I'm going to say when,
Yes.
we will actually just head to North Dakota and South Dakota to start our 4th run.
Okay.
And I'm up over there on the 1st and 2nd.
Are you entered for like Red Lodge, Livingston, the big ones in Montana?
I did not enter Red Lodge. I'm up in Livingston and Slack on the morning of the 4th. And then I'm up in Big Fork on the night of the 6th.
Okay. Take me through Slack, because there's hardly anybody there watching it, really. I mean, it's early in the morning, or sometimes like in Helena, it's late at night. What's it like mentally preparing when there's, 40 or 50 ladies all waiting at 2:00 in the morning or at 8:00 in the morning?
There are times it can be very hard to motivate yourself, especially if you're tired or like you said, it's really late at night or really early in the morning. But at the same time, it's another run, and it's just 3 barrels. It's the same mentality that you have in a performance. Even though there's more energy, you still have to put yourself in that mindset to make your run, even if it is just a slack run.
All right. So we have Yeti, you mentioned. That's your horse?
Yep.
Okay. What are your other horses' names?
The other one that I mainly pro rodeo on is Lizard. I actually just ran him in belt, and he won belt.
Nice.
On Sunday. And then the mare that I won the national championship on, I will run her closer to home. She's a little bit older, so it's a little bit harder for her to travel long distances, but she still loves to do it. And so we'll run her at the closer ones in Montana that we know she really likes.
Okay. When you look at a horse and when you get a horse started, and, there's different size, arenas all across this country, all across the state, which horse do you pick, or do you pick a horse depending on which one is better in a small arena, which one's better in a little bit bigger arena, or do you just run the same ones?
Yeah, we definitely look at the pen. They all have their own preferences on like arena size, if it's indoor or outdoor, the ground conditions, and we really just try to pick the best horse for that arena, just based on what they like. Yeti is mainly my inside horse. He loves to run inside, whereas Lizard really likes the big outdoor pens where he can just run. And Yeti does well on the outsides too, but given the 2, I would run Yeti inside. And when it comes to ground, Lizard kind of doesn't really have a preference. He'll run on pretty much anything. Whereas Yeti does really good in like deep ground because he's so big. Okay. He can just get through it way easier. Whereas my mare, she really likes hard ground. If you ran her on the gravel road, she would be perfectly happy.
Wow. Because you look at that, and some rodeos don't rake in between competitors. And so the deeper that ground gets, does that play into the factor too of which horse you'll run that night? Because depending on where you come up in the lineup.
Oh, absolutely. The good thing is the WPRA just passed a rule that I think it was this year that said committees either had to hand rake after every person or rake it half. So that's definitely going to help with those ground conditions, but keep it more even. But we still look at that and decide on which horse based on my draw number when I'm up. Sometimes slack can be different than a performance. Mm-hmm. So it really just depends on the circumstance of which horse we're going to run.
All right. So you ran Yeti Saturday night, drove all the way from Casper to performing Belt on Sunday
Yes.
to ride
Yep.
Lizard.
Yep. Yep. I was up in the performance.
Oh, that is great. Tayla Moeykens joining us here. A couple of final questions for you. What kind of music do you listen to before you go into the arena? You know, as you're prepping and warming up and getting everything ready, what are we pumping?
Well, you know, the best kind of music is country music. So I listen to that probably 99% of the time. However, we have a few specific ones that we listen to right before I run. And so we play those sometimes, but mainly I just use the music that the announcers play because they get it going.
They do.
And, they get it going. So it really pumps you up. And then when the crowd gets into it, that makes it even better.
Oh, for sure. I love rodeos. It's the best event and I love all sports, but rodeo is my all-time favorite. Will you be at the Hell in a Last Chance Stampede this year?
Yes, as of right now, I have it on my schedule. Of course, that weekend is also Cheyenne. And with the progressive rounds, it can be kind of hard to schedule, but if everything goes the way that we have it planned out, then hopefully then it's on my schedule.
Good. And hopefully you're in a perf because I'm not sticking around till 2 a.m.
Well, why not?
Well,
you gotta, you know.
First off, I got to go through all the calf ropers and then I got to go through the team ropers and just to get to the barrels, which is the best part of the rodeo.
Yeah, now you're speaking my language.
I mean, I do like the breakaway and bull riding's great. I do like me some rough stock, but I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Girls going 30 miles an hour at full speed on a beautiful horse, nothing better than that.
Yeah, man, you are really hitting all the good points right now.
Hey, this is not my first rodeo, Tayla.
I would imagine not.
See what I did there?
Yeah, right. That was clever.
Favorite food to eat?
Oh, man. This is going to sound really weird, but ranch dressing is like I put it on everything almost.
Including a steak?
Yep.
Really? Okay.
Yep.
How do we eat our steak?
Medium rare.
Okay. Oh, you're starting to lose me a little bit. I can't. Medium's about as low as I can go.
Oh, man. So you like it like shoe leather?
It's the blood. I don't want to eat blood.
But it makes it so tender and so, it just melts in your mouth.
I know. I'm working on it, Tayla. I'm working on it.
Come on.
I used to be
from
well
Montana,
done.
Right?
I am. Yes. I grew up in Bozeman, so yes.
Oh man, we've got to work on that.
We were neighbors.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Okay. If you qualify, let's see, how can I phrase this one? If you're in the national finals December 25, I will go out to dinner with you and we'll get a steak and I'll eat it medium rare.
Perfect.
Okay.
Sounds like that's a deal. Okay. I will make that deal with you.
Saying goodbye to teammates, what was that like?
Oh gosh, that's definitely going to be hard because I've made so many great friends on the team and even in the region. You know, I will cheer for anybody regardless of the vest they have on because everybody works hard. They all deserve to do well. And a good bottom line is a good run is a good run. You know, if somebody goes out and smokes a run, it is cool to watch. And so I'll definitely miss being in the Big Sky region and being at MSU.
Okay, what will you miss the most? Will it be the regional rodeos or will it be riding the horse out on, was it Yeti you rode on the football field?
No, that would be Lizard.
Okay. So riding Lizard on the football field, you got to talk that horse down a little bit. I mean, that's a pump up activity that horse doesn't get to do anymore.
I know. He, the cool thing about him is he's so calm. Like he walks up to the field and everything, but the minute they hand me that flag and I stand on the turf, he gets excited. Like I can feel his heart racing. And this last time he did a little hi-ho silver before we took off. So he definitely loves that, and just being able to run.
Oh, that is fantastic. It's the greatest tradition in sports. And
absolutely agree.
When that started a decade ago or so, I mean, it was the best thing ever. When you're growing up and you're seeing that, but then you get to MSU and you're a freshman, you've got to wait your turn to get out on the field. So what was that like, that wait?
So my freshman year, they actually didn't have any football games because that was in
COVID.
So that was hard anyway, just because nobody got to do it. And then I actually got to do it my sophomore year because at Gold Rush, they had the four of us on the national champion women's team lead the team out. And so I think it was the first time in history that it just said Cats and not Bobcats.
Oh, well, hey, celebrate the national championship.
Yeah, so it was kind of cool that I remember the article said, "Where's the Bob?" Because it was the first time that they hadn't had all seven. It was just the four of us, and then after that, I've gotten to do it quite a few times, and Lizard was definitely my go-to boy on that.
Well, so at least you went to MSU because up in the other school in the other side of the mountains, they would have put LIES instead of Grizz. They would have gone with like Lies because they can't figure things out over there.
That is hilarious.
I just thought
there was no chance that I could go there.
Well, okay. You don't like the Grizzlies, you don't like the University of Montana, but when somebody from the Grizz puts down a run, like you said, though, rodeo's different. It's a family. You guys are helping and supporting each other out. Do you still have a little bit of a grudge, though?
No. Of course, we have to put our little, digs in there and just mess with them a little bit. But there's so many great people up there that we rodeo together even outside of school. We see these people all the time, and so we get to know them on a much deeper level, and we get to know who they really are. So whatever vest they have on, it doesn't really matter. Even
a northern vest?
Yes, even a northern vest.
All right. How did you end up with the middle name Anne Marie?
My mom and her mom's middle name is Marie.
Okay.
And then my dad's mom's middle name is Anne. So they put them together and did Anne Marie.
I like it.
Yeah.
Just more family stuff. Do we have siblings?
Nope, just me.
Just you. Oh, mom and dad are pumping a ton of money into Tayla Moeykens.
I do have to say I have a lot of siblings with my dogs.
Well, yes.
Because I usually fight with them for the back room in the back seat.
Being the only child and being a girl, I mean, you're spoiled.
My mom's nodding her head yes.
Oh, moms are the best. Love moms. Happy belated Mother's Day.
Nodding her head.
It's so true, though. You got it. Hey, I've got a 6-year-old daughter, so I've got to, but I also have 2 older ones. But
I have to say the only part where I feel my only child this come out is mom always say that I always said that I was glad I was an only child because I didn't have to share my horses.
Well, that's a great point. But you had to do all the work then. So there's a trade-off.
Mom and dad were always there to help, so it wasn't too bad.
How old were you when you could first put a saddle on a horse and do it all by yourself?
I'm not sure about that, but I was going around the barrels by myself at 3.
I believe that.
I think I was 4 or 5 the first time I got on a horse by myself.
Okay. All right. And then how many saddles do you own? And do you have a buckle room?
Oh, that's a good question. I think I've got close to 15 saddles.
Wow.
Just, from NRA, WPRA, college, the KK Run for Vegas, the Sherry Survey, multiple different associations. And then as far as buckles, they're kind of strung all across the house.
Oh, okay.
And I honestly don't know a number on that one.
Okay. As long as you've got them displayed somewhere, Tayla, that's all that matters.
Well, we were laughing because our one buckle shelf, if you slam any door too hard, like just close it too hard, they all come toppling down. So that's an interesting moment.
Well, you can have two choices. You can move them, or you can just not slam doors.
That's a good point.
Is mom nodding her head again?
Yeah. The bad part is you don't even have to like close it that hard. They just fall over because there's so many in there.
Okay. Well, when the summer settles down, I look forward to chatting with you before you head off to the circuit finals in January. How's that?
Yeah, I have to say that was an experience this past January, rodeoing in negative 60-degree weather.
Yes.
That was a first.
It's a first, but it will not be the last.
At this point, negative 20 would be great. Like, I would be totally happy with that because negative 60 is brutal.
Oh, I know. And it's sad. It's tough because you have to warm up outside. There's really no warming up.
Well, they do have a small warm-up area inside. So A lot of people would take their horses in there and get them ready and warm them up in there. The bad part is the warm-up arena was like 50 degrees. So you take them from negative 60 outside to 50 in the barn. You had to be careful to make sure that they were completely dried off before you went back outside.
Well, yeah, it's good. Lord. I mean, that's just brutal.
Yeah.
But that's great falls for you.
Yeah, especially the second weekend in January.
Yes, exactly.
Mom always joked with me, though, because my first 2 years making it was like 50 above. Mm-hmm. And the 3 years she made it was always below zero. So she kept giving me crap about it. And then this year, when it was negative 60, she's like, okay, yeah, never mind. I won't give you crap anymore.
Well, Mom's getting to that point where, not being the competitor, it's a different mindset. She's making sure you don't freeze and the horses don't get cold. Yeah. Mom's taking care of you.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay. And I fish the two warmest and the one coldest circuit finals. You're right in the middle.
There you go. I love it. Are you doing NRA or just PRCA this year?
Just PRCA this year, where we're trying to go a little harder and be in the top 35. It's really hard to do both.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is. Traveling partner besides Mom?
My dog, Zeke.
Just Zeke? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then answer me this. Will Alexis McDonald, does she have another year?
Yes. Yep. She just finished her junior year.
Will she be the national champ next year?
Absolutely. She's got a great horse and she can lay down some runs. I know at our college rodeos, she was always a very tough competitor.
Yes. And that's the best college rodeo, by the way, is the MSU Spring Rodeo.
Oh, absolutely.
It might be one of the best rodeos, period.
Well, the funny thing was I was talking to a lady down in Casper. She was giving out an award or something, and she knew about Bozeman. And so I think Bozeman, because of the eliteness of the production, I think a lot of people know about our spring rodeo.
Oh, yes.
Which I have to say it's my favorite, not only because it's our home rodeo, but it's the most like a pro rodeo, and just the way that it's put on and the energy that building gives off. It's a great feeling in there.
I'm old enough to remember when the CNFR was in Bozeman and going to that. It was very cool.
We still wish it was there.
Oh my gosh, so do I. Bring it back. Let's get it back.
Yeah.
It's a shorter drive from Bozeman to Belt than it is from Casper to Belt.
That is a very good point.
just by a couple hours or so.
Yeah, everybody, whenever we show up, they're like, "Weren't you just in Casper?" We're like, "Yeah."
Well, that's the way it's going to be in Cheyenne. They're gonna show back up in Cheyenne for the short go, and everybody's going, "Didn't you just run in Helena last night?" Yes, I did, and now I'm here.
Yep. See? Yep. There's a lot of miles right in between there, but we made it.
There you go. Hey, Tayla, I appreciate it. It's been so much fun watching your career all the way from high school through college. Can't wait to see what you do as a pro, and we're behind you here with the Jason Walker Show. Don't be a stranger. Feel free to come on the show anytime you want.
Well, thank you so much for having me, and thank you so much for offering that.